And like I was saying, we talked about Hannah, which is one of my favorite stories in the Bible. So we're going to read about Hannah. Hannah really wanted to have a baby boy. She wanted more than anything else. Back when she lived, if you were a woman and didn't have children, people looked down on you. They would tease you and make fun of you. And we all know what that is, to be teased. So imagine really, really wanting something and then it's just not happening for you. And then on top of that, having people tease you. That's no fun. One day she went to the temple. She cried and prayed really hard and made a promise. God, if you give me a son, I will give him back to you to serve you. A priest named Eli overheard her and said, may God give you what you've asked for. God heard Hannah's prayer and gave her a son. She named the baby Samuel. When Samuel was older, Hannah took him to live with Eli, the priest, just like she had promised. Samuel learned to serve God. Hannah lived very far away, and it was hard not to be close to her son. She loved her little boy because he was a special gift from God. Even though she was doing something hard, Hannah kept praising God and was faithful to him. She was faithful in her promises and prayers. Because of this, God gave her more children, and Samuel grew up to be one of the greatest men in Israel. So, what do you think? How was God faithful in keeping his promise to Hannah? When I think about it, he was faithful because what he spoke is what he did. So God was very faithful into honoring the promise that we know that God keeps his promises. How was Hannah faithful in keeping her promise to God? Well, if you think about it, soon as Samuel was born, she gave Samuel back to God. What are some of the things you can do to be faithful in your promises and in your relationships? So what are some things from day to day that you, as you make a promise, as pertaining to your parents, your family, your siblings, what are some things that if you promise, if your parents say, I'm going to get you this if you do this, and you say, I promise I'll be good, you got to hold on to that. And the meaning of faithfulness means to be loyal, honest, and a promise keeper. And the verse we're going to read is Proverbs 20:11. Every child is known by his actions, by whether his conduct is pure and right. Okay, so of course our favorite thing to do is a craft. So what we're going to do, there was a craft, a prayer craft that you could do at home. But I thought what would be more fitting than to do a rainbow in a sense. So if you have the clear sheet that I sent, you can kind of make this into a cloud. And it doesn't have to be a perfect cloud. Mine might not be that great. But whatever shape you want to make it. And then I also sent some colors, so get the colors, it doesn't matter. You can use however colors you want to make your rainbow. So you get a blue, purple, yellow, orange, a red, another like a light blue and a green. And you need all those. And then get some glue. Get your glue sticks. This one is not the greatest. Alright, you're just going to take your colors. And right at the top, and then I'm going to put it down here. Here's one. So have you guys been practicing the hand washing that we learned at our last class before we left? off before. We haven't had church service in a while. Have we been practicing the books of the Bible? Do we remember the last fruits of the Spirit that we talked about in class? You have to let me know. How has being at home been able to spend more time with your family? Do you miss coming to Sunday school? Because I missed you guys. Alright, so after you have all your colors around the back of your cloud, you can get a pencil or a marker. You can have your mom, or you can write it if you want to. And then God keeps and then it says God keeps his promise, which if we think about it, in the beginning, the first promise that God had was the rainbow, and the rainbow represented that God would never flood the earth again. So when we put it in perspective of what Hannah was crying for when she was crying out to God for a son, and we think back to the beginning when God said he would keep his promise, and he did the same thing for Hannah. So then you can hang this wherever you want to, and then you can always remember that God will keep his promise. And then oftentimes in class we always talk about, what do we say? I am a promise. So that's the beautiful thing, is that you are, guys, are a promise also. You have to let me know. I want to see pictures. Send me pictures of your rainbows and post them. We would like to see it. All right. So before we wrap up, we're going to do a few trivia questions, because next week is Resurrection Sunday. So I thought it would be fitting if anyone knew the answers to some cool trivia questions I'm going to give out. So, because we can't really play a game. So, what better way to do some trivia questions? So, this one is called What Is It? And I'm going to give you 3 clues. And whoever guesses it, or get a good guess, when we come back together, we'll have some prizes. The first one is, what is it? This is now a symbol of Christianity. This notice was placed on it. Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. And it's the instrument of crucifixion. So if you know the answer, let me know. This was fun, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. If you can send the photos of your pictures over to G2GY on Facebook, or post them on Band so that we can see you. Until next time, bye.